Namaste. Welcome to our Beat the Blues class. Happiness is not an external thing, okay? We have to find it inside ourselves. So I hope I'm going to help you do that today. We'll have a little bit of fun. I want you to be playful with the practice today. We're going to start by doing some ujjayi breathing. So we're going to tap into our breath, and I'd like you to try and use that during the class if you can. So if you're familiar with ujjayi breathing, you carry on and do your thing. Everyone come to a comfortable seated position. If you want to get your hips up a little bit on a block or a cushion, find a way to relax your hands either in your lap or on your knees. Shoulders are released. You can have a little wriggle of the shoulders if that helps. Head floats up to the sky, so this nice tall spine. And we bring our attention to our breath first. You can close your eyes or soft focus down at the floor. Breathing in and out through the nose, if that's okay for you today. And let's take a little scan of the body, see how we're doing. How is the weather forecast internally at this moment? Checking in with ourselves, acknowledging the energy, how we feel. That's where we're moving from. That's what we got to start with. And then the ujjayi breath is easier to find on the exhale. So we're looking for a little constriction of the throat to slow the breath down. So breathing in through the nose. You can try that whispered E sound. You get the feeling, the muscles in the throat working. Putting that little whisper on the voice helps slow down the breath. Now we've got to find it without having the mouth open. So start on an E and then close the mouth. Trying to continue the sound. Turns into like a soft sort of a shushing sound. And then if you want to, you can try it on the inhale as well, okay? Sometimes harder to find on the inhale. Maybe if you try breathing in on an or, you'll feel the cold air going down the back of your throat. Okay, once you get a sense of that, see if you can do the same thing. Start on an or, then close the mouth. And then breathing in and out of the nose, little constriction in the throat. See if you can imagine, it's like you're breathing through the front of your throat. Feel that breath going down the throat. And it sounds like waves lapping on a beach. So enjoy that sound. If it doesn't come for you today, not a problem. Breathe long, slow, deep breaths. And while you're doing this, I want you to bring to mind something that fills you with joy. It could be a place, real or imagined. Could be someone you know who makes you laugh, who makes you smile, who makes you happy. Somebody on television, somebody in your life. Could be a pet, could be an object that fills you with joy. Bring it to mind. Let the corners of your mouth curl up at the thought of it and see how it affects the body. Do you feel a little softer when you think of good things? I want you to bring that feeling of lightness, of happiness into the practice. So bringing your hands together at the heart space. Let's inhale, open our arms out, embrace the happiness and joy that's in life and bring it down the center, back to the heart. And again, nice big inhales. Use the ujjayi breath here if you can. And taking just the left hand now, up and over, right hand touching the floor. I'm going to flow through these movements today. So we're not staying, come up, both hands lift on the inhale, come over on the exhale. Lovely. Rising up. See if you can come into the twist. You can go slower than this if you want to. You can go a little faster if that's what the breath wants. Not staying. We're coming back through the center. Going over the other side. Lovely little softness today. And bringing the hands now down to the mat. You can change the cross of the legs if you've had your legs crossed for a while. We're going to give ourselves a big hug. So inhale, take the hands out to the side, cross the arms over each other, hug the shoulders. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, round the back, draw the chin down to the chest. And again, breathe in, lift the heart, look up, nice long neck. Breathe out, chin towards the chest as you tilt the pelvis back and round the back. Now inhale and open the arms and cross them the other way, other arm over the top this time. Good. And again, inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin in, drawing the tummy in. One more time. Inhale, lifting, rocking a little bit forward. And exhale, rocking a little bit back. Nice big inhale to open the arms. Exhale them down to the floor. If you're sitting on something, then take that out now from under the hips. And it's up to you. You can roll backwards onto your back, or if you want to, using the hands coming onto the floor. We're going to go onto our backs with the knees still bent and take happy baby pose. So I defy anyone to take this posture too seriously. With the knees bent, we're going to take our feet and point the soles of the feet up to the sky. Grab hold of your shins or your ankles and take the knees wider. Take them a little wider than your chest, so they're nice and wide apart. And you might be able to climb up the legs a little bit with your hands. Maybe you take hold of the outside edge of your feet. Maybe you stay holding the ankles or shins, and you have a little rock from side to side. Have a little play, maybe straightening one leg, bending the other knee a little more, and then changing around. So imagine a little baby happily playing on the floor or in its cot. If it rolls over too far, doesn't matter. It laughs its head off at what it's achieved and then comes back up again. It looks at its feet, enjoying this view of the world upside down. It's interested, it's fascinated. I want you to be like that today with the postures. Good. Have a last little rock and roll here. And then bringing the knees back over the chest for a hug. Again, you have a choice. You can roll over onto your side and press yourself up to sitting with your hands, or you could cross the ankles, hold onto the big toes, take a nice big breath in, and on the exhale, use your core muscles to sit upright again. And roll all the way forward onto your hands and knees, come to tabletop pose. Lovely stuff. And with the knees under the hips, keep the hips up in the air, but start walking the hands forward. Coming into our puppy dog pose, our half down dog pose. Now, if you don't want to take the weight on your arms and wrists, you can come down to your forearms here, but I want you to get a nice long back. So anyone who's able to, walk the hands away and really press the hands into the mat and take the sit bones away from the hands. So you're stretching the back out and use the Ujjayi breath. So nice big inhales, and on the exhale, melt the heart down towards the floor. Some people might be able to bring their forehead to the floor. Some people might be able to bring their chin to the floor. Okay, that's strong on the shoulders. So if that doesn't feel right for you, you don't have to do this. If you're very flexible across the back and the shoulders, then your chest might come down onto the floor. Do not worry if it doesn't. And one big breath here to finish. Inhale, exhale. And then walking the hands back up. Not quite under the shoulders. So ready for down dog. Hands are in front of the shoulders. Really starfish out those hands and press into the fingers with a slight cup of the hands. Tuck the toes. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, push yourself up. Using the feet and the hands, knees stay bent whilst we let our body adjust to being upside down. Let the brain make sense of it. Again, if it's not for you, taking all this weight on your hands, come back to kneeling, and you can do the next bit kneeling. We're going to pedal through the feet, bending one knee, push through the opposite heel, down towards the ground. You might feel a stretch down the back of the leg. And then the opposite. Push that heel down. And then wiggling, swaying your hips. Have a little play with your down dog. Okay, can you give me a wag of the tail of your down dog? Have a little wiggle. Yes, be playful with it. Good. And then coming down to kneeling if you're not already there. Sink your hips back. Come into child pose and enjoy having a little rest. So knees can be wide, big toes can touch. If that's not for you, keep the knees closer together. Rest the torso down onto the thighs, if not in between them. Again, maybe the forehead comes to the mat, maybe it doesn't. You might want to bring your hands under your forehead, or they stretch out in front of you, or they come back to the feet. What feels good for you? What is your body needing? What are those shoulders needing? Maybe if you did that puppy dog, shoulders need a little bit of softness now. Taking the hands back to the feet gives a nice relax across the shoulders. And then we're going to come to cobra. So reaching your hands forward, fingertips stretching towards the front of your mat. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hips down. You can bend the elbows, come down to the floor if you want to, or you can stay in cobra. So you're either working dynamically, lifting the chest, the heart on the inhale, and lowering down on the exhale, or maybe you try and stay in cobra or sphinx. Remember, forearms if that's better for your body. Let the hips sway, get some movement into this pose. So these dancing cobras today. Is the lower back relaxed? Can you engage the tummy muscles a little more? Maybe turn the toes in. Does that help? Can you roll the shoulders back on that inhale? We don't have to be up high. You could be a nice low cobra here. And then everybody come down to the floor. We're going to do locust pose, and there's a choice of arm positions for this posture. So you can take the hands out in like a cactus pose, or they can come back towards the hips so they're down the side of your body. Or for this first part, they could come under the forehead, so you're resting the forehead down on the back of the hands. I'm going to do this half and half. First of all, the bottom part of the posture. So the upper body is going to stay on the floor. The toes stretch back behind you. Hips are going to stay on the floor. But on an inhale, you lift the feet off of the ground. Lift the legs up. You should feel those muscles engaging in the legs. And then release and relax back down to the floor. Twice more. So a little bit of glute work here, clenching those buttocks, not gripping for dear life, and releasing and relaxing. Okay, so this could be a millimeter off the floor, or you could be getting quite high up off the floor. And then release the legs, a little sway of the hips. We're going to do the top part of the body. So you choose whether you want your hands in cactus pose or arms down beside you. And I don't mind if the palms face down to the ground or face up to the sky. Have a little play, see what's right for you. Legs are going to stay on the mat. On the inhale, we lift the chest. Again, it might be a fraction. We come up and then we exhale down again. Got to use these core muscles, not the lower back. Might use the upper back muscles, but not the lower back. So if you need to keep your hands on the floor and do a little pretend locust like a cobra, that's okay. But if it's all right, you're lifting up with just the strength of that upper body. Now, your choice. You can do a couple more legs, a couple more upper body lifts, or now we can lift both together. So on the inhale, we are lifting our feet and our chest, length in the body, length in the back of the neck, don't crunch that neck back, and then lowering down. Maybe staying up for a breath to see how that feels. If you haven't done locust much before, then keep it moving dynamically until the body is used to what it needs to do. Hips and tummy stay on the floor. Top and tail lifts. Everybody release down. Rest maybe on one cheek and then the other. Little sway of the hips. When we come out of a strong back bend, like locust and cobra, then take it slow. So bring your hands under your shoulders. Press into your hands, take some weight on your knees, push yourself back through tabletop and round the back. Enjoy a cat stretch here. Okay, you can go straight back to child pose if you know that's where you want to go. We just take another breath here, exploring how much you can push your hands into the ground, stretch through the back, and then ease your hips back to child if that feels good, if that's what you want to do. And let the residue of the snake and the locust fall away. Good stuff. And I want you to come up to all fours, tabletop pose again. And this time we're going to take our right foot back behind us. Actually bring the knees a little bit closer. It will help you balance. And take the right foot back, look forward and lengthen through the body. Inhale with the legs straight out behind you. Exhale, bring the knee underneath and look towards it. And again, inhale opens you out. You can lift the foot if you want, bend the knee a little bit. And then exhale, round the back, look towards that knee. This time, take the leg back. We're going to swing the knee and the foot all the way through. So the right foot is now between the hands. You're down on this left knee. And we're going to rise up into Anjani Asana, crescent lunge. Choice today, in a minute, if you want to take it into a higher lunge. But let's all start from the ground so we know what we're doing. Inhale, bring the hands to the thigh and the hips. You can stay here if you want to. If you choose to, you can sweep the arms up. Good. Now, your choice. You can stay here. We're going to do some arm movements, or you can tuck the back toes under, test it out. How does it feel rising up? That has really compressed the lumbar spine. Then draw the tailbone down. If that's no better, come down to kneeling. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so open the arms out to the side. On an inhale, we're going to lift the arms up and touch the hands together, rising up if you're up in a high lunge. Exhale, drop down to the back knee, even if you're in that high lunge. Now, can you come up again? Inhaling up. So you're either doing this from the floor or you're coming up and down off the floor. One more time. Stay down if you want to. Inhale, touching the hands together. Exhale, opening them out, bring the hands down, either side of the foot. Tuck the back toe if it's not already. Walk it back to down dog and walk the legs out. You can come straight down to kneeling if you prefer. That's where we're going in a minute. Otherwise, a little wag of the tail. And then back to tabletop. Knees a little bit closer than we'd normally have them. Left leg back this time. Inhale, nice long body, crown of the head to that back heel. Exhale, look towards the knee, round the spine. Enjoy the change of the flexion of the spine as you inhale and exhale here. Taking the foot back and forward. And next time you swing the knee and the foot all the way through. And get yourself settled. If you feel wobbly, heel toes are front foot out a little bit. Ideally, we want that front knee over the front ankle. And bring yourself up. You can lift up in stages, or now that you know what you're doing, you can sweep the arms up. There's no need to. You can do this posture with the hands on the hips. If you want to try coming up a little, let's tuck those back toes. How does that feel? Maybe you keep the hands on the hips till you're there. Lifting the hands up, open them out. I'm going to start our slow clap. Imagine you're at a rock concert. So on the inhale, you rise up, touching the hands together. Exhale, open out, dip the hips. Good. Inhale, rising up. If you're staying down on the ground, maybe you let the hips come forward. On the exhale, inhale up. Exhale, open, beautiful. Bring the hands down either side of the foot. Tuck those back toes and step back to down dog. This time walking the hands and the feet towards each other, meeting for a forward fold. Keep the head down, so meeting in the middle. And enjoying a nice dangle here. Use the Ujjayi breath. Bringing the hands to the shins, bend your knees enough to drop the belly down onto the thighs. And if you want to work with the head more up at a level to the heart, then you're welcome to take the hands higher up and work at a higher level. If you're okay tipping the head right down, then we're going to breathe in with bent knees and breathe out, straightening the legs, dropping the head down, and the hands slide down the legs. Twice more like that. So inhale brings us up with bent knees. Exhale, feel a stretch happening in the back of the body as we bow down. Good stuff. If you want to, we can try this in a little bit of a different way. So get your peace fingers, index fingers, middle fingers, and grab hold of your big toe. If that's not an option, then grab hold of your shins. What we're going to do is do what we've just done. Inhale with bent knees. Exhale, straight legs. So you should have straight arms and straight legs now. Inhale again where you are. This time, exhale, bend the elbows out to the side. Try and keep the legs straight. Oh, that feels a different stretch to me. Okay, inhale, straightening the arms. Exhale, drawing yourself down, the head and the nose going nearer to the knees. Doesn't matter how close they get. We're just working on opening up the back of the body. Last time. And then releasing the hands, pressing down into the feet. Slowly start rolling yourself up. Take your time. We were down there quite a while. Shoulders roll back when you get to the top. And open the palms forward. Lift the heart. Good stuff. Can you find a little lift in the corners of the mouth? Softening off, not taking yourself too seriously today. Excellent. We've got the breath of joy next. So some of you may have done this before. You widen your stance, taking your feet wide and your knees bend. And it's a 3-part inhale and a 1-part exhale with movements as well, so with arm movements. So the first move is to sweep the arms forward, inhale, sweep the arms out, inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, inhale, and then exhale, fold forward into a forward bend. So up, out to the side, up to the top, and down. In, out, up, down. Okay, you get your own rhythm. Do this through a couple more times. Good. And when you next fold forward, stay there for a breath. And slowly, slowly make your way up to standing. Feel the difference in the energy. Bring the feet back together, come into mountain pose. Has that warmed you up a little bit? Got things moving? Maybe the muscles, you can feel some of them working. The heartbeat might have increased a little. Notice it calming as we come to stillness. Good, but we want that uplifted feeling today. Let's take that with us into our warriors. Turn to your left and take a big stride. Take your feet as wide apart as your legs are long. We're making a triangle shape. And to start with, turn your right toes towards the mat. And take your left toes a little bit forward at an angle so the heel is further back. See how stable you feel. You can always heel toe that front foot out a little if you're a little bit wobbly. Inhale, take the arms out shoulder height. Take a nice big breath and exhale, bend the knee to come into warrior two. Okay, and we're looking for that knee, that front knee, to be over the front ankle. So you might need to adjust the feet in order to feel that. Tuck the tailbone down, draw the tummy in and up, look down those front fingers. And again, I want us to do a nice slow clap here. Turn the palms up to the sky. This is a really opening gesture, a receiving gesture. We're ready to gather in all that goodness that is out there in the universe. So on an inhale, straighten the front leg a little as you rise up and the hands come up to meet each other. And then exhale, open out, bend the knee, drop the hips a little more. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, opening out. Keep the palms upright for one more time. Exhaling out, turn the palms down again into our classic warrior two posture. And then we're going to switch sides. So you're going to turn to the back of your mat. Inhale as you cross your wrists in front of the hips. Big circle, toes start to turn direction. Cross the wrists at the top. And as you exhale, you turn your feet to the back of your mat. So don't worry, you can't see me for now. We're going to do the same thing. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit so that you feel stable. Where is that knee? Is it over the front ankle? If your arms are tired, then the hands come to the hips. But you keep this lovely upright posture as though you're looking down that left arm and left fingers. Let's turn the palms up to the sky. And like you're at a concert, nice big slow motion claps up to the sky, opening out, embracing the joy, the pleasure of being with other people. Gosh, wouldn't that be nice to be in a crowd now, enjoying your favorite music? 3 claps together overhead. And then turning the palms down for one more big breath to enjoy your powerful warrior two. And then cartwheel the hands down to frame that back foot. I know you're turning away from me, that is fine. All 10 toes turn towards the back of your mat and you step the back foot together so that you're in a forward fold but facing away. I want you to bend your knees enough to look through your legs and give me a wave. Yes, see now I can see you again. Lovely, and your choice how you spend your time in this forward fold now. So you can take the legs a little wider apart if you want to, and you can bend one knee and the other, have a little sway. You can do the same as we did before, so you can keep the feet closer to each other and hold on to your big toes and explore how the posture feels after a little bit more work on the muscles. Or if you want to do something different, you could link the hands behind the hips. So linking your fingers and softening the elbows and knees. Inhale, and then exhale, stretch out through the knuckles and straighten the legs. Bow down and do that a few times. So just see what you fancy doing in this forward fold. How does it take you today? Couple more breaths, however you're working. And then bringing your hands down to the floor, slowly walk yourself back around to face the front of your mat. And feet hip width apart. We're going to rise up again. So take your time, press into the ground, roll yourself up. rise up again. Good. And coming to mountain pose, but with that additional little modification, crucial little part of the posture today, the corners of the lips turned upwards. Nice. So from all that movement, I want to come to stillness and to do our balance today, which is holy fig tree pose, or my version, running for a bus that's left too early. Okay, you see which name suits it best when you try it. So we've had a look at this before, some of you will have. So press into your left foot first of all. That's going to be our standing foot, and take the right toes behind you. So don't lock the standing knee, a little bit of a micro bend in it, that makes the muscles work. And we're going to lift the right toes off of the ground. Hands can come to the hips or stay down by the sides. Find something to fix your gaze at, something not moving. Good. If this feels okay, then you can lift the opposite arm up. Face the palm forwards. Okay, here's my running for the bus pose, you see. Get that ujjayi breath going. It really helps in balances. If you want to, you can take the right hand out to the sides. It's got 3 limbs now, all going in different directions. Stay here, keep breathing, or we can bring some movement in. So on the inhale, we're in this posture. On the exhale, the knee and the elbow come towards each other, nice and slowly, mindfully. Good. Twice more if you can. Don't worry about wobbles. That's the challenge of balances. That's why we do them. The muscles learn. Good. The brain learns. How do I stay in this ridiculous position? Good. And then rising up, the feet come down. Enjoy that moment. Notice the difference between one leg and the other, one side of the body to the other, and then switch the weight. Let the right foot know that it's going to be taking the weight of the body. Spread the toes, press down into the ground. Left toes go back. You prepare yourself mentally as well as physically. Okay, so you choose hands on hips or down by your sides. Then when you're ready, you tilt forward a little bit, lifting up that left leg. And we can play here. You can try lifting up the right arm. If that's okay, after a breath, lifting out the left arm. Good. So this is, I think this is like a freeze frame of a video where somebody's running after a taxi or bus that's just going off into the distance. You want to bring that movement in. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow and knee come together. Inhale. How much can you tilt forward? Tease yourself if you're finding, oh, this is fine. Then play with it. Good. Can you breathe and smile and move at the same time? Inhale up to finish. Exhale. Oh, the joy of having both feet back on the ground. Feel that softness and strength. The muscles feel that release. Nice. Enjoy mountain pose for a couple of breaths if you want to, closing the eyes. If you're still practicing with the ujjayi breath, the points when we're in stillness are a great time to say, oh yeah, let's bring that in again. It helps slow everything down, the heart rate, the breathing. And we're going to come back down to the floor through chair pose, imagining we've got a chair behind us. So again, hip width apart with the feet. I want you to lift the arms up overhead. Nice, tall, long body. Try and keep a long spine. As you exhale, sitting back as though there's a chair behind you. Now, it's tough to keep the arms up in line with the ears, and it might be too strong on the back. It might not feel right. So maybe bring the arms forward. If that allows you to lift the heart, then that's better than lifting the arms up higher. Each exhale, see if you can sit down a little lower. That chair, that pesky chair has just got a bit lower. press into the feet. Notice, is all the weight going into the heels or into the toes? Can you even it out? I'm going to ask you to take one more, just down a little more, okay? This is the public toilet pose. Good practice for squatting over loos. Fire up those thigh muscles. Breathe in, breathe out, and bow forward. Let the hands touch the floor. Walk out the legs. And step it back to down dog. You can bring yourself straight to kneeling and child pose if you want to. Or give that little wag of a tail. That might feel a nice stretch for the legs. Everybody coming back to child pose. If child pose is not your relaxation posture of choice, lying on your belly, and we'll join you there in a moment. Again, make the most of 3 or 4 more breaths here, bringing the hands back to the feet if that feels nice, softening into the back. Bring the Ujjayi breath in. See if you can really notice the skin expanding, the body expanding, skin stretching on the inhale, and then releasing, and everything softening down on the exhale. How much sensation can you notice in your body, in your breath? Lovely. And then the hands are going to come forward. We're going to rise up in our striking cobra. So inhaling up to all fours. Exhale, hips come forward. Lower down. Into your locust pose. So you might have your hands in cactus pose. You might have them back beside your hips. If you want to try that, linking the fingers behind the hips, if you enjoyed the shoulder stretch that gave you, if you played with that in forward bend, you can do that in locust as well. It's not for everyone. I want you to lift up on an inhale. Find your locust pose, whether it's just legs, just the chest, or both, and see what you can do to have a little rock and roll here. Quite ridiculous. You play with locust pose, normally in quite a fixed position. I want you to roll onto your right hand side. So release the arms, come onto your right hand side and line yourself up. Your feet, your knees, your hips, your shoulders and head. This Vishnu's pose. It's like a Roman emperor reclining on a chaise longue. Okay, and we're going to take some arm movements here. You can be down resting on your forearm, or you can come up onto your hands. And you can stay like this, or you can bring your foot in front. Okay, your choice to stay down on the ground, or we can get some work in here and lift ourselves up, okay? It's a lot of work on the wrists and arms, so you're going to know what's best for you. This left hand can come onto your hip, and on an inhale, push onto the side of your foot and into this foot in front and lift up. Okay, so you might know by doing this, that might be for you, it might not. You can lower down again. And then you can play. So on the inhale, maybe the top arm goes up and then comes down again. You can stay on the floor and do this. Maybe the top arm comes up and over and then comes down again. Twice more. Inhaling, exhaling, feeling an opening, a lifting, an uprising of some sort. Good stuff. And then straightening out your legs. You can just roll onto your belly and turn to the other side. I'm going to swing myself round so I can still see you. Choose whether you feel more comfortable, more secure on your forearm, or whether you want to bring yourself up onto your hands. And then have a play with bending the knee. Find a comfortable place for that foot to be in front. You can keep yourself outstretched if you prefer. Top hand can come to the hip, or down onto the thigh, and see what you want to do on that inhale. Some sort of movement, an upward movement involving a stretch. Exhaling down. Maybe you don't even get down to the floor. If you're feeling strong, you want to strengthen the arm, perhaps you stay up in this pose. Good. One more time, however you're enjoying the expansiveness of this opening of the top arm. Lovely. And then rolling yourself onto your belly and coming back to kneeling, tabletop pose. We'll thread the needle from here. Let's start by threading the left hand. So if you prefer, you can be on forearm for this, otherwise pushing into your right palm, lift the left hand out to the side, stretching it out. Exhale, sweep it under, don't come all the way down straight away. Inhale, stretch it out again. So we're preparing the body to come into this twist. And you decide how gentle you want to make this twist. If your spine doesn't like twists, then this third time, instead of threading the arm underneath, you bring the arms next to each other and come into both forearms on the floor. Otherwise, you thread that left hand through, laying the back of the left hand on the mat, the left cheek on the mat, the left shoulder comes to the mat. Enjoying your thread the needle pose, this supported twist. Hips are up in the air. Again, use the Ujjayi breath. How does that change the posture? Can you get more relaxation into the twist? Nice, deep, slow breath. Letting the body enjoy whatever twist you've taken it into. And to come out, maybe the right palm comes a little closer to the face. You push down into the hand, unravel the left arm, have another stretch out, and bring the hand back to the floor, back to tabletop pose. Center yourself up, ready to do the other side. Inhale, lift the right arm up into the air, reaching through the fingertips, and then testing the water, tucking under into a little twist, but not laying on the floor yet. Twice more, we're going to lift the arm up, feel that openness, and then feel a little twist in the body. Good. Now we know where we're headed. Inhaling, exhaling, bringing yourself down to lie on the floor, the right cheek, the right shoulder. Do what you can to make this comfortable for your arms. Hips are up in the air. And you breathe. Good. One more breath on this side. Left palm ready to take the weight, pushing into the ground, you unravel. Reaching that right arm out, comes down to the ground. Sit back on your heels, swing the legs around in front of you. And take the feet wide into a straddle. So normally I would say if you want to come up onto a block or a cushion would be all right. You can here, but in a minute we might roll back. So remember to take it out. If you're going to lift the hips, then you might want to take it out in a minute. I'll try and remember to say when. Toes point up to the sky. And take a little twist here and then a stretch of the legs. Inhale and open the arms out. Nice and tall up through the spine. Try and keep that length. As we exhale, we bring the left hand towards the right toe. and then inhale up again. Exhale, right hand towards the left. Good. Inhale up again. One more time each side. Lovely. And coming up through the middle, placing your left hand down on the floor, bend the right knee and grab a hold of the right ankle, the right big toe. Maybe you take those 2 fingers and wrap it around the big toe. Draw the knee back like we did in our happy baby pose. Draw the knee back a little bit, get a little bit work into that hip. Nice tall spine, inhale, exhale, stretch the leg out. Inhale, bend the knee, we release, okay, on that inhale. Exhale, we breathe out into the stretch. One more time. Trying to keep length in the body, the heart lifted. And relax that foot down. Okay, right hand comes down near your hip to support you. Left knee bends, and you get a hold of your left toe, your big toe, or your left ankle. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, pushing out through that heel. Good. Leg doesn't have to come totally straight. If it's not going to straighten, as long as you're feeling a stretch, I'm happy. Good. One more time. Excellent. You know what's coming next. You know. We're going to try and do that with both feet. Okay? If that's not for you, you do it a couple of times on each side. Otherwise, bend both knees. Take hold of your ankles or your big toes. You need to rock back a little bit onto your sit bones. Okay, that might be enough. You might work here for a little bit. Imagine the happy baby pose we were doing. Or nice big inhale in, exhale. We're opening out into our straddle balance. Yes, couple more times. Try and do this and not smile. Am I going to lose anyone? Doesn't matter if you roll backwards. Enjoy it. Yes, part of the adventure. Good. Have a last go at this. And then I let you decide how to roll back. You can roll back. You can use your hands to come back onto the ground and hug your knees in. If you want a last little play in happy baby, or you might want to rock from side to side, then you can. And drop the feet to the floor. Take a moment in this constructive rest pose. Get the shoulders and the hips and the ankles lined up. Ready to take a lying twist. Arms come out to the sides. They can be shoulder height. If that's uncomfortable in your shoulders, then they're a little nearer to the body. Palms face up unless that doesn't feel right in your shoulders. We're going to bend the knees, lift them over the chest, take an inhale there. On an exhale, let the knees fall over to the right hand side. They might come to the floor, they might not. If they're miles off the floor and this feels uncomfortable, then grab blankets, pillows, a block, something to put under the knees. You can also try putting the feet on the ground and shifting the hips backwards. So the knees might be together, they might be a little bit staggered, but you're in some sort of twist and you can control the intensity of the twist. If your back really doesn't like being twisted this much, then the feet stay on the floor, the knees are higher up. If you're really enjoying the twist, you can stretch the legs out towards the right hand. See how it takes you today. The nose can either stay pointing up to the sky, or you can turn it away to look over at your left hand, so it's nose in opposite direction to the legs. And then we observe. So we let gravity do the work here. You can close your eyes or keep them open. If that left shoulder has lifted up off the ground, every exhale, we let it melt back down towards the mat. Use the Ujjayi breath here and get that nice, deep, slow breath going, that rhythm going. There's going to be tightness somewhere in the body. You're going to feel it maybe through the ribs, around that shoulder, around the hips. Breathe into the tight space and breathe out. Invite the tension to leave. 2 more deep breaths on this side. And then the knees come back over the chest. You roll onto your back. You place the feet on the ground and you take a moment. Shimmy the hips, shimmy the shoulders so that everything's back in line. Then you lift the knees again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let the knees fall over so the hips are following. The knees going over to the left. You're trying to keep that right shoulder down on the mat. Sometimes it'll lift up. And then again, have a play. Shimmy the hips back a little more. The knees can be right up near the elbow, or they can be further away from the elbow. They might want some support. Cushion under or between the knees is sometimes nice. And then you choose to look up at the sky or over to the right hand. And use the breath to take you into this posture. Every exhale melts you down a little further. Last couple of breaths. Let it be your next inhale. Lifts the knees up to the sky. Places the feet back on the floor. You can hug the knees over the chest if you want to. Little rock and roll is a nice massage for the spine. After our twist, this brings the body into a gentle forward fold, a forward bend of the spine. So a little rock and roll if that feels good to you. And then the choice is yours for relaxation. You can stretch the legs out long. Have the feet at least hip width apart and let the toes drop out to the side. Or if that doesn't feel right on your back, try bending the knees, feet wide apart and resting the knees together to make that pyramid shape. So they're totally supported, effortless. The hands are down by your sides with a little bit of space under the armpits, palms facing up. Any extra layers or coverings? If you feel that the forehead is lower than the chin, something behind the head is good, a blanket, a half block or book, to lift it up a little bit. It's nice to have that long neck and the forehead in line with the chin rather than the chin sticking up to the sky. So have a wriggle, get yourself comfortable, and then allow the eyes to close if that feels okay to you. And let's use the Ujjayi breath, even in Shavasana, to take us deeper into this relaxation pose. Breathing in and releasing tension as we breathe out. Watching the body slow down and relax. Softening the skin on the face, releasing the jaw, letting the tongue be heavy in the mouth. Let those shoulders release. Nice big exhale to let them relax away from the ears, down towards the floor a little more. Maybe shifting the shoulder blades under you, lengthening them down. Tummy is soft. Feel the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe in and out. The hips widen, spacing out on the floor. The limbs are heavy. There's no effort holding them in any particular way. Fingers softly curled. And then I want you to release the Ujjayi breath and enjoy the natural rhythm as you're feeling everything slowing down, the heart settling, the breath. How does the breath feel now? Does it feel easier than it did at the beginning? Is it smoother, perhaps? And then bringing to mind something that fills you with joy. It might be the same thing you thought of at the beginning of the session. It might be something completely different. Letting the thought of it bring that gentle smile to your lips. Breathing in all that goodness, that good feeling. Breathing out, feel it spreading through your body. Softening, releasing. You're gently held by the earth here, filled with joy. And ever so slowly, start to make small movements in the body. I'm going to let you decide what those small movements are. Maybe you start moving your head or your limbs. Enjoy the movement, relish it. If you want to have a stretch out or hug in, then do it. And slowly, when you're ready to, make your way over to rolling onto your right hand side and resting there. And then use the arms to push into the mat. Draw your bellies back and push yourself up to seated posture. Bring the hands to the heart. Okay, we're going to fill that heart with even more joy if that's possible. So as we breathe in, take the hands out, open up, embracing everything that the universe has to offer you, and exhale, bring it back down into its home, into your heart. One more time, nice big inhale. And exhale, drawing it in, keeping that goodness there. If you want to, join me in an Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Taking a big breath into the heart space and exhaling out as you bow. On the sound of the universe, Shanti, peace. May there be peace in your mind and joy in your heart. Namaste.